Hello, my name is Philip Chavez, and I'm the creative director for CAI Designs. And today we are inviting Peter Yera from Fine Art through our digital design door. Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. So we're catching you in a very secret location right now. Where are we right now?
Right now, we're in a really quaint corner here of our showroom, and I'm just happen to be sitting behind one of my favorite collections. One of our latest collections called Foret, French for Forest.
Tell me about what the process was for you to put this together.
Sure. So first, well, my direct position, I'm director of design and development, and so
Okay.
I've been with Fine Art for 24 years. It really feels like every day I walk in here, and I know it sounds cliche or like a bumper sticker, but it's like walking in here day one. There's an excitement when you come into this place here, and a drive and love. The challenging thing for us is to continuously like reinvent ourselves.
Oh, yes.
And not copy what we did from the last market and continually pushing the envelope. And that's what we do the best. That's one thing is reinventing yourself, but staying true to your brand. And that's one thing we've enhanced our brand in the last couple of years to get our name out there, our story,
Rigorous.
and our Made in America story, and just the beauty, like what is fine art. We're staying true to our ethos, which is our product is really art. It's a lit piece of sculpture, and that's the way we approach everything.
What I really love is the mixture of the elements that go into this collection. I mean, you're utilizing pieces that are large scale. So, I mean, this is a novelty size crystal to go onto the scale of the lamps and the fey lamps that you have behind you, or the halo that you have behind you, or the sconce. And so what really brought those ideas together? What brought, the foray to this being a representation of, I'd say, leaves, and then going into those branches and the scale? How did you guys all come up with that?
Well, that's a good question. First, that's just one size crystal, but there's about 5 different ranging from anywhere from like 4 inches to some of these crystals are about 12, 14 inches long. So actually my original inspiration, the crystals weren't as big. And someone just said, why don't we just triple the size of the crystal and really give it that impact? And it was like, again, one of those aha moments. I'm like, wait a minute. This is what's going to really make it different. I mean, if we don't feel that wow moment, like if we're walking in and looking at our own product, if we don't get that wow feeling, then you have to go with intuition and say maybe this is not it. But
Exactly.
We try to keep that crystal element abstract, but also as a known, it feels like it's some kind of leaf form on a branch.
And it doesn't look like your grandmother's crystal at all. You know what I mean?
It does not.
It's very modern. It's very,
That's
very
right.
modern. The crystal element for fine art is so special. But tell me a little bit about your finishes. I mean, you have such beautiful finishes, and rather than it just being a gold leaf, it has some kind of element that makes it a little more deep with color. You have these beautiful champagne colors. You have all of these different finishes that you utilize. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So one of my hats that I wear is I develop the finishes for fine art.
Okay.
And we're known in the market just for the richness of our finishes. Now, over the years, as the trends have changed, years back it was more Mediterranean, very heavy, elaborate finishes. And as of late, some of the design trends are a little bit cleaner finishes, but we just can't go so clean. So we'll always have to put this level of depth to our finishes. When I'm developing finishes, I have somebody kind of archiving for me because I just don't have the patience, or I don't know, or the focus. So I'm just mixing paints together, and she's writing down, like, okay, I think you took half of this and half of that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. So now when you think about, because you love design and so much that's going on in the world, when you think about the world of lighting and the direction that it's going, what do you feel is the next step for lighting?
That's a good question. I feel it's the Wild West. It's kind of like interiors also. You know, it's a hodgepodge mix of modern and traditional and how you put those elements together.
I see that a lot, like when I go to Maison Objet in Paris, and we see a lot of those European vendors, and they're bringing a large variety of really, really beautiful product. But if we bring it to the United States that same time, for some reason, there's this like weird, the aesthetic doesn't start to take root for a
Right.
little while longer. It's
Right.
interesting.
What I'm seeing a lot now is just mixed materials. So we're trying to dive more into just mixing things up. But I would say the last 10 years, one of our strategic initiatives has been pushing glass. And we have a state-of-the-art glass facility. So now we're trying to leverage that, having, being made here in America, which is
In Miami, baby.
in Miami. Yeah, we truly have a true turnkey process here with a lot of great skill sets here, folks. I mean, we've done from smaller products to really large scale installations, and it really takes a team, collaborative effort. So there's times where we'll look at things and it looks harrowing. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off, but we end up doing it.
So what's the craziest thing that you think that you've ever that you've been requested to put together? I mean, we talked about the IBIS installation, but what's your crazy? What's your crazy one?
I have to say the IBIS was crazy because as much as we didn't want this to affect our bread and butter, working on new lines, it was the same resources. So we had to make it work somehow. And we were under extremely tight deadlines. And all I kept hearing was, from all of our experienced glass artists who were working with us was, we're not going to pull this off on time. I said, we are, and we're going to pull it off no land time. We're going to pull it off within budget. And we did.
No
and I was
way.
even amazed. So I think that was probably one of the toughest, but we continue, customers are becoming more and more demanding. And so we're seeing some customs that are really, I'm not going to say out there, but I'll say out there. Sometimes things are outside your wheelhouse. So it's hard, we need to keep a balance between, our inline product, but also customization has continued to grow for fine art. So, we started off at first with just simple body modifications, like making something a little bit bigger or wider, or adding more arms or a finish chain. But now, some of our lamps are growing to 20, 30 feet tall, going into these really mega mansions.
I mean, you guys encompass so many different facets of the industry, between metalsmithing and then glass blowing and slumping, and then being able to create these installations. It's awesome. I love that.
It is. It's, again, a lot of our core values in fine art it's really it's a feeling of family. It really is. I mean, I've been here again 24 years, and we rely on each other, and we realize how important that is.
That's gorgeous. Well, I always feel so welcome whenever I go into the showrooms too. So it seems that that's a family mantra that you all really purvey. So thank you.
It sure is. It sure is. I was waiting for this crying moment, Philip.
I know. I thought that I was going to start crying too. I was like, all right, is this it? Is this it?
Yeah. No, Frank he's got some good knee-jerking stories.
Yeah, he had some good ones. He had some good ones. But, I really, really would love to thank you and Fine Art for taking the time to walk through our digital door.
And I appreciate all your patience and getting us on.
Necessary. I have lots of interviews today, though. I'm very.
Let me tell you, and you're very persistent, which we like. So we appreciate that persistency and patience and making this fun.
Of course, and thank you once again, Peter. And I hope that you and your family are well.
Thank you, Philip. Take care of yourself now.
All right, you too.
Take care. Bye-bye.